Homework 3 starts off with adding rational expressions with different denominators. And it says on the first one there we have to subtract, and so when we add and subtract fractions we have to have a common denominator. In this case we have an 8x and a 6x. Our common denominator is going to be 24x because the least common multiple of 6 and 8 is 24. So 8x would go into 24x 3 times. I would take 3 times the top of that expression. So I would have 18x minus 15. And then 6x goes into 24x 4 times. But be careful here. I have that minus sign in front. So think of it as minus 4 times 3x minus 4. Because I've got to distribute that negative sign out as well as the 4. So I'm going to have negative 12x plus 16. So just bring that sign down in front of that number that you're going to multiply by, and that way you don't forget to change the signs if it happens to be negative. You're now going to combine your like terms. 18x minus 12x would be 6x. Negative 15 plus 16 is plus 1. My common denominator was the 24x. Now we're just going to leave it as a fraction like that. You can't reduce it down unless all 3 terms are divisible by the same thing so that you can factor that number out. In this case you can't, so that's going to be your answer, 6x plus 1 over 24x. So if I look at number 2, if I have denominators of 9c and 2c, my common denominator then is going to be 18c. 9c would go into 18c 2 times, so I'm going to take 2 times the top. I'd get 16c minus 6 then. 2 goes into 18 9 times, so this is a plus on this one, so plus 9 times that 2c minus 1, since I don't have room to smush it in there. If I multiply that out, I'm going to get a plus 18c, and a positive 9 times a negative 1 is a minus 9. So I'm going to combine my like terms, 16c plus 18c. If I add those together, I'm going to get 34c. Negative 6 minus 9 would be minus 15 over my 18c. Again, I can't reduce it unless I can divide all 3 terms by the same thing, which I don't think I can do, so that should be my answer. And the third one, same thing. I'm finding my common denominator. In this case, I can just use 6a since 3 divides into 6. And so 6 goes into 6 1 times. 1 times the top would give me 9a minus 4. 3 goes into 6 2 times, but there's a minus, so minus 2 times the 4a minus 1 would give me minus 8a plus 2. So be careful with that negative sign when you have the subtraction. 9 minus 8 gives me a. Negative 4 plus 2 is minus 2 over my 6a. And so a minus 2 over 6a would be my answer. So find my common denominator, make my equivalent fractions by multiplying, and then go ahead and combine your like terms.